Hi, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Blackboard DevStories, where we spotlight remarkable journeys in tech and innovation. Um, Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow our LinkedIn page if you haven't done so yet. I think our current target is 1024 subscribers on YouTube and LinkedIn as well. I mean, it's good to be hopeful. Yeah. Today we are thrilled to be joined by Abdulquddus. I hope I have not butchered that name. Ajibade, um, a final year medical student and an accomplished AI engineer and researcher at the renowned HelpMum Africa. Um, If you do not know about HelpMum, I think he will also expound a bit on it. But just to give you an overview, HelpMum is an organization that's out here transforming maternal and infant healthcare in Africa through intelligent digital solutions. And Abdul Kudus, or Kudus at this point, let me just stick to your short form name. Kudus has been very much involved in the success of this digital products under HelpMum Africa. Fun fact about him actually, he's very active in the world of medical AI research, which I actually stumbled across his Google Scholar profile and found out that he has written a couple of research articles, I think five, you can correct me if I'm wrong, and even partnered with faculty from Stanford. We actually stan. That's amazing. So yeah, welcome Kudus to Blackboard Dev Stories.
Yeah. Hi, Maryann. Thanks for inviting me. I'm so glad to be here.
Okay, amazing. So without further ado, to kick things off, you can tell us a bit about yourself and your journey so far in medicine and AI.
Yeah. Um, I'm Abdulquddus Ajibade, like you earlier introduced. Um, I'm a final year medical student here in Nigeria, University of Ibadan, and I've been into AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning for about 3 to 4 years now. And I started from data science, learning one of the things in like joining boot camps, taking courses in data science, and there is a whole pathway for data science itself. Then I then narrowed down to machine learning, and I like spent quite a number of time building models, um, from the normal traditional models, then going deeper to deep learning. Then I decided to stream down to artificial intelligence, like which is a bit like more different from machine learning because it kind of combines a bit of software engineering. That means I quite familiar with backend also to augment my machine learning to be able to um, do well as an AI engineer. So I've been more in the healthcare space because from my medical background, it was quite easy for me to bring the domain knowledge into my journey. So I've right from when I was learning, I used to like focus more on healthcare projects. I have quite a number of them in my GitHub, and I used actually to preach that a lot. That whenever anyone is learning, try to like build as much project as you can. So I got some mentors who put me through how to get data to work with healthcare projects, and I did that a lot. I documented on my GitHub, so it was quite easier for me to now start looking for healthcare specific companies to intern. I Although my internship was not in a healthcare company, but I was able to like gain quite a number of experience during my internship. I interned at initially at Hamway. I spent about 4 months there. Then I also interned at TechBets right after So, and that it was a petroleum company, and So then from there, I started like looking more into healthcare companies. I did a bit of freelancing before I eventually started working with HelpMum as an AI engineer. And yeah, the journey is quite been quite interesting so far, and I think I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
That's amazing. Sounds like you've done so much in the 4 years more than other people have done in decades. Yeah, super proud. Um, yeah, just to dive more deeper into the beginning of your journey, like what sparked your interest in combining AI and medicine? And was there a defining moment or experience that led you in this direction?
Well, I've always been a fan of tech, right from my high school, right from my secondary school. I've always been a fan of robotics, probably from the fantasy movies. You can't judge me, but yeah, that might have contributed to my interest, right? But I started then looking at the possibilities in healthcare, right? Since I decided to go into medicine, although at the time I didn't know, you could actually like combine, but I was just looking forward to whatever possibilities are like open in the future. So I started like paying attention, and in my second year in school, I have quite a number of friends in computer science, and I have a close friend of mine actually. So I used to like pay to visit him and see like, oh, the guy likes to code. So I mean that's got me interested in it. Then also I think I joined LinkedIn like 2021. So that was actually a defining moment for me because I like saw a number of things people are doing outside the country. The problem now is that in Nigeria, you know, especially in Africa, we don't have so much solutions. So if you are not experienced or if you are not open-minded enough to like see what people are doing outside the country, you might not know the possibilities of things. But then I started like seeing the things that are obtainable right in healthcare or health tech generally, and that got me really interested. The whole idea of AI in healthcare, AI in medicine is just so intriguing to me. And I just like wanted, I was so curious to know how then to go about this. Do I necessarily need to be from the tech background, taking a major in computer science, taking a major in tech course before I can go into health tech? So I realized that, oh, there are other pathways to follow from whatever background you can you can still do some things to make sure that you are fit to be in the health tech space. Then that's like prompted me to like start taking the right courses. I remember I joined a boot camp then. It was meant for computer science students then, but I had to like combine it with my own studies. I used to like go to the computer science faculty to take Python classes, data science classes, data analysis classes. So from there, I that was right before I got my laptop. Then I eventually got my laptop and started like doing things on my own, learning on my own. Like I got the courses, right? So then I just started like pushing on my own. Then I did a number of research about how exactly can I combine healthcare with AI, and I spoke with a number of mentors also on LinkedIn, right? And like yeah, that was really helpful for me because it was then easier for me to now follow a defined pathway as to how to now combine healthcare with tech.
Just curious, like where did you get? I mean, like medicine is probably one of the most taxing courses I know out here. How did you get to a point that you could accommodate schoolwork, medical schoolwork, and boot camps, and all these things? Like, how did you juggle between these things?
Um, yeah, so med school is actually like very tasking. Actually, very tasking. I can't overemphasize that thing. But the journey is quite long when you look at it, and you just realize that do you really just want to be spending like 8 years of your year in Nigeria? We use almost 8 years to study medicine. So start asking the questions that do you actually want to be using 8 years of your life to just read and read and read. I mean, there's always if there's always free time. Then depends on what you want to use the free time to do. I used to like be a chess. I used to be very obsessed with chess, right? So that actually took a lot of my time right before I started like um doing tech really. So I then rediscovered that I realized I was actually using my free time for a lot of things. So why not then convert it to something that will be more beneficial to me? So and something I'm actually more passionate about, right? So I just like sat down and redefined my schedules and set my priorities right. So I was able to see that even though we don't have much free time, so I was still able to like maximize the little free time that we have into making sure that I'm able to like combine the step with medicine. So I also like joined communities, and one thing communities do to you is that they kind of motivate you. So no matter how difficult the journey might be, it makes it like more like easier for you. So then I also have like accountability partners as well as mentors that kind of also encourage me and push me beyond my boundaries. So I just try to make sure I'm not too burnt out. I take risks as much as I can. I cut out distractions as much as I can. And then I just like stayed focused into pursuing my tech career as well as still doing well in my studies.
Wow. I think partly we can say you're probably a genius. You're just
Yeah,
trying to be modest. Because I can imagine that's a lot. And the fact that you're thriving in both aspects. I guess, of course, like, yes, I think you're really smart to begin with. And I
uh,
also think you're very good at being disciplined because I can imagine keeping up with that for 4 years. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I know, right?
So, I'd like to know, like, was HelpMum Africa your first experience diving into medical AI?
Um, Not necessarily my first experience. Right from when I like was looking for internships, I like laid my hands on some interesting projects. So I tried to make sure like I was freelancing at the time. So I was able to like do some projects on healthcare, health tech, on machine learning in medical machine learning, worked on a number of healthcare data sets as well as medical imaging. So right before I joined the Help Mom, I did my outside posting. We used to like do some electives. So I did my elective at a private radiology lab in Nigeria here. So I was able to like meet some medical physicists who then introduced me to like there was it was more like a consortium so for medical imaging. So I did that for like about 6 months. So um I'm looking for the right word to. It's not a boot camp necessarily, but it was more of a like a boot camp combined with a hackathon in medical imaging. So and that was like my first and like the breakthrough I had actually in the health AI because we wrote a paper which was actually my first published paper on segmenting brain tumors from MRI scans in sub-Saharan Africa using um, like optimizing one of the common algorithms 3D units. So I also like got selected to attend the Planning Endeavor, which is one of the recognized AI conferences in Africa and also globally. So I got selected to attend this conference 2023, so which I was able to attend. Then I also presented this our research work that we did. So in my team, then I was the only student. So I was also we're only two people that were like savvy when it comes to AI, the medical physicist and myself. The rest were radiology resident doctors who just helped in annotating the data. So I was really involved in building the model um, alongside the medical physicist. So it was like an interesting experience really. And because I was the only one who got to like attend the conference, so I had to like present the paper on behalf of the team and actually like got an award for the poster presentation at the conference, and I met quite a number of people who then like reached out for collaboration. I mean, that was like a really defining moment for me, and yeah, like in medical imaging. So following that time, almost like very close to that time was when I got to help mom. So because I had like prior experience, it was easy for me to convince the CEO then that I would be like a good addition to the team. Also, I was able to convince him because that I'm able to like combining it with my studies, because that was the challenge. That's okay. How then do I combine this work with my studies? And because at the time the work was quite challenging, because I was not the first AI engineer, right? They just lost the AI engineer like at the time, and there was like a an important task they were working on with a very close timeline. So I just had to like convince him that yes, I'll be able to like get it done, and because I had prior experience, it was also easy for him to give me. So that was how I got to help mom.
Okay. So fun fact, I think I don't know when did you publish your research paper on imaging?
That was
Am I
2023.
I think
Um,
also
same.
in 2023 I did I had the same I had a preprint. I think it's on Arxiv. Um, on the same thing. We actually did the same research. So yeah, I
Oh,
also did MRI with the 3D attention unit, yeah,
yes.
attention based unit. Yeah, so that's a really nice coincidence.
Same, yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. So you mentioned that I don't know, like I'd want to like know is there a way you practically apply um your medical knowledge at work? I don't know, like, is there a balance? Is there like a point where you feel your medical image takes more, or rather is um, more important than the AI part? Or does it sometimes feel as if you only need the AI knowledge and not the medical knowledge? Or
Well,
does it feel you have to strike a balance?
yeah, that's an interesting question actually. Although in Help Mom, at Help Mom currently, I don't work on medical imaging. I do um, large language models, generative AI in healthcare. Like majorly, that's what I do at Help Mom as an AI engineer. So, and I've been working a lot on maternal health care, pregnancy, as well as vaccinations and more other primary health care concerns in Nigeria. That's to do with like making using artificial intelligence um, to make the delivery better in terms of vaccination uptake, maternal health care in Nigeria and Africa. Yeah, so well, to the question, although I'm like the lead AI engineer here, and majorly what I do is that I just oversee and lead and also help build these AI products, right? So many times, because this is a domain specific area where the domain knowledge comes to play, and being the in my team, in the tech team, I'm actually just the only person that like has both the two, like has the medical background, and also generally in the team there are just few people that had the background. So many times it then comes down to who has this knowledge to help explain to the team. So I'm most times I used to like be in a good position to do that, because yes, I have the background. So I have to bring the domain experience to the play. I bring my knowledge in healthcare, in maternal healthcare. At the time I was, while I was building our models as well as our AI systems in maternal healthcare, it also coincides with when I like when I was like writing my third MB, which was on obsgyn and pediatrics. So I was like quite experienced in obsgyn and pediatrics. So it was easy for me to like bring the knowledge, because then it was really needed at the time. So I could remember there were a number of times when they would need some crucial information about how things are done in the country when it comes to vaccination, when it comes to maternal health care. And because I'm experienced being in a tertiary hospital where I do my clinicals, and it's one of the like leading tertiary hospital in Nigeria, which is UCH. So it was easier for me to like bring the experience of what we do in the hospital to how it should be done and what to consider while building a product for that kind of use case, right? So I would say the balance is quite there, right? Because I don't only focus on coding and coding without having to think with how it's going to translate when it comes to the application. I also bring the domain knowledge into my work so that it's also going to guide me when I'm building these products because it's not only important for to just build products that people can't use. I mean, we build products for users, we build products for mothers, we build products for that serve as copilot for PHC workers, permanent healthcare workers, community healthcare workers. So we need to always like bring all this into play whenever we're building a product. So yeah, so I think there is actually a balance there, and I that kind of makes it really interesting for me because I feel really fulfilled to combine the two background.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, as a medical student who's already ventured deep into AI, um, how did you, first of all, like, what advice would you give other people in your field? Let's say, most especially like medical students who are trying to either venture into AI or even research, because I think other than doing it for practice, like at the hospital, you can also be research based, I guess, as a doctor. So, how would you what advice would you give them in terms of first looking for opportunities? Because at first, I think, as you mentioned, all these small things that you had done sort of built the trust that people had in you, even when they were giving you opportunities to start for the first time. So maybe you can give tips on how to build that trust that you can use to gain other people's trust, or rather, how to build that competence in as much as you're limited with opportunities. As you said, in Africa, we don't have that platform where opportunities are just given to you. You literally have to fight for them in one or another. So I don't know, just curate a collection of tips that you can give to either medical students or people in the medical profession who are looking to go into AI or research, how they can navigate into getting their their foot into the the ocean.
Okay. Well, it's more of like looking out for opportunities because to be honest, except you actually like yeah, you're already in in the majors, probably if you are doing biomedical engineering, that's already combining with healthcare and tech. So if you don't find yourself doing this in your majors, then you know that you are then going to like go extra miles to look out for these opportunities. And unfortunately, where we find ourselves, it's difficult to for them to bring these opportunities to you. So you actually have to go out there. So and in terms of where to look, I would recommend LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn really helped me a lot. So even if when I eventually like found other communities, most of these communities I found them through LinkedIn. So it's easy for you to meet people to collaborate with, right? It starts from connecting with people of like minds, like people that are in the two spaces, right? Um, Follow them, connect with them, reach out to them. It's not enough to just be the mutuals. Actually, like try to message them in the DM. Whatever it is they are doing that you like, mention it. Oh, I see you are working on this and this, and it kind of aligns with my interests. And can we jump on a 3 minutes or 10 minutes call to discuss how you understand? So, like, try to learn how to reach out to people, so then try to reach out to people a lot. So it's easier and faster for you to learn from people's experience because believe me, people have a lot of experience and there's a lot to benefit from them. So you don't want to do too much of trial and error. You eventually do trial and error, but you don't want to do that too much because it's going to slow down your journey a lot. And don't forget you're coming from a non-familiar background and you want to be combining two things together. So you need to excuse me. You need to look for how to best do this as efficient as possible and also as fast as possible. So that way you'll be able to create a pathway and a roadmap of yourself, because you need to know that there is no perfect roadmap. So when people disturb me a lot about how to like come in with a roadmap to do combine this, I was forced to sit down and draft like a roadmap, and I pinned it on my Twitter page. Right. So, but honestly, you just need to know like there is not like a perfect roadmap. So, but it's easy for you to just follow another person's roadmap. Maybe along the way, you just keep streamlining to what works for you. But you really need to sit down and think about your own schedule, your school activities, as well as where exactly you are going. You might not necessarily be looking to be an AI engineer, any career in tech. So get the right roadmap, draft the one that works for you, and then cut out the distractions as much as possible. You know, this is again it's not as if you are just doing medicine alone, like that's if you're a medical student. So there are a lot of activities that are extracurricular in medicine itself, right? So you need to set your priorities straight. How much do you want to be involved in the class activities? How much do you want to be involved in the in school politics, for instance? Do you understand? If you're an athlete, if you like myself, I used to like represent the class as well as the school sometimes in chess, majorly my class actually. So, but chess was taking too much of my time. I also used to represent the class in volleyball, although I was not a pro, but we didn't have much option. So I used to represent my class in volleyball. But I then realized that I didn't have much time anymore to spare for this, and my priorities, I just needed to check my priorities. So I had to like cut down a lot of things I was doing before, and I had to like just it was difficult for me to keep up with those things anymore. So I just do them once in a while. Anytime I'm free to come down to play chess with my guys, I just do that. If not, I'm down in my room, learning one or two things, building one or two things. Like, so you have to like maximize your time for what you want to do, because what you're doing is special. It's not like a very common thing. Then there's a lot of things to actually sacrifice to make this work. So when you know that you are not then moved when people like abuse you and for not having like a social life. This is not that's the trade-off, right? So you sacrifice your social life for it. So that's why sometimes I used to say there is no balance really, because there's a lot of things to life really that are like, if you're the kind of person that likes to party, then you'll be sacrificing many things for this. So because you know that the journey is not that long. I mean, I'll be rounding up my medical school in about few months now. That means whatever it is I've been struggling with in medical school has already come to an end. Then that is enough time. That was more time for me to do other things I want to do with my life. And so you just need to realize that the journey is not for life. So for this little time, sacrifice as much as you can to get what you want, right? So, and I think that works for me, and it should work for many people too.
Okay. So, bottom line, your drive plus your sacrifice, know what you want to trade off and stick to the routine. I think you should probably start a productivity series. You sound like someone who would win in that category. Yeah. But I think it's amazing that you've mastered what, or rather what works for you. And it feels like of course, like as we can see, your sacrifice has truly paid off. Yeah, so I think I know of people personally that will probably benefit from those few remarks that you've given. So you mentioned that you're in your final year of medical school. So um, will you continue staying? Okay, I don't know if this is not a wise question to ask, so let me rephrase that. Are you still planning to stay within medical AI, or do you think at some point you do practice in medicine?
Well, yeah, it's an interesting question also. People used to ask me a lot. Do I see myself practicing medicine? Well, I would say I've been um I don't want to use the word first, but I've been able to because when you want to practice it's you have to like probably choose a specialty, right? So no one just wants to become an ordinary medical doctor. So many people used to go for that to specialize, go for residency program. So that then comes down to choosing a specialty of choice. So I've been able to look for that specialty that one would give me time to combine with my tech, then also has a bit of tech in it. So and radiology, yeah. So I see radiology as a specialty I would be interested in because I've done quite a number of things in medical imaging and it kind of has a lot of prospects in AI. So if I would be practicing, then I would be practicing radiology. I did my electives in radiology. Um, I'm thinking of probably in the future considering a residency in radiology. So how soon that would be, I can't say for sure. I don't think I want to do that immediately. I mean, medical school is too much trauma on its own. I think I need to detox when I graduate. It's before I start thinking of residency maybe. So well, probably as an immediate thing after medical school, thinking of like the right way to combine the two. So because I've been doing quite a number of research work, engineering work, so I'm thinking of probably like a research fellowship in medical imaging or in health AI or health informatics, something like a postdoc or something just to have the hands-on, more like a better hands-on, right? So in both the research, the engineering, and also the healthcare domain. So that might be like my immediate step. Not so sure again also. So, but I see myself doing that immediately from medical school. Then before thinking of what to do with the practice itself.
Okay. I think you're going into, I don't know, you're going to greater heights, I think.
So
Um,
the
you're, you're I don't know. You're really inspiring. That I'll say. I think I mentioned to you that I stumbled upon your profile with a friend of mine who's also okay. For her, she's fully in data science, but yeah, and we were there. We're way older than you, but we were just there in awe of your many accomplishments and feeling so inspired. So the fact that you're inspiring old women out here, you should be very proud of yourself. And
thank you.
also, even younger people, I know people in medical school who've seen your profile and they're just wowed. So I think you should definitely maybe like find a way, a platform to share more about your experience. I think it would be very uplifting to very many people. You probably don't know it, and you probably think what you're doing is very ordinary, but it's not. You're doing amazing things. So if you can, find a platform, build a platform, even if it's just as simple as posting a few blogs now and then to like uplift people in medicine. As you already know, with experience, that that's like medical school is for the tough-hearted, and sometimes it can take, and especially now in Africa, like there's been so many incidences of, I don't know, like so many hardships. I think in Kenya we've been, and unfortunately, like we've had a few cases of, people going through a lot, um, in terms of like mental health and whatnot. So I think it would be uplifting knowing that there are people out there finding other ways to thrive in medicine and not just throwing it away altogether. And also the fact that you're leveraging on something that's so hyped right now. um, Also, I don't know. It's. I think you're, as we say in Kenya, you're sleeping on your talent when I direct translate it. Yeah. So yeah, it's been an amazing session. We've actually taken so much less time. We're supposed to finish this in 25. I mean, later than right now, which we finished 25 minutes earlier, which is a good thing.
Ah,
So, unless you have questions for me, I don't think I have such an amazing life like yours. But
yes,
unless
that's
you
that.
have any questions, we can. I don't think there are any questions on the live stream chat. So unless there's anything else you'd like to share with people, because I know there are medical students watching. Unless you have something you'd like to share, um, we can
Mm,
end the stream. But if you have something to share, please feel free.
okay. Just one last thing. And that's that. You know, like I mentioned earlier, medical school is quite challenging, but it's always important to know that whatever happens, like academics comes first, right? Because sometimes you can be carried away by the things you are doing because at some point they become more interesting than your medical studies itself. So you can get carried away, but you always need to remember that in the course of setting your priorities straight, your medical studies comes first. So you can't afford to be failing your exams in school. You can't afford to be skipping classes. You can't afford to be skipping clinical activities, right? So you should always know that no matter what, you are never trading your medical studies for anything. So because it's just 6 years, 7 years, or 8 years, right? So you'd rather just get out of the place as early as you can and avoid spending so much time because of receipts or repeats in your exams. So medical studies comes first, your tech follows after, then every other thing to balance this. Yeah. So I think that's
Okay. So, sorry, we'll probably drag you back to your where you're currently working, HelpMum Africa. So I think you can give a small overview of what it's
oh,
all about. I know you did mention like bits here and there about the solutions you're offering there, but you could do like a more concise overview of what solutions you offer at Help Mom Africa, and also if it's offered elsewhere apart from Nigeria.
yeah. Help Mom, our major office is in Nigeria, and our major solutions are more targeted towards Nigeria. Although um we were at South Africa late last year to like share some of our products at the Africa Tech Fest, and we have been thinking on how to also expand beyond beyond Nigeria, although because many of the solutions are actually like African based. So majorly what we do is maternal health care, child health care, and so those are the major things we deal with. So from vaccination, which is one of our major, because we are non-governmental NGO, so we apply for funding, we get funding, so to build products around maternal and child health care, vaccination uptake. We have like an AI product for that, Vax AI, where you can come and ask anything about vaccination and it's going to give you a response according to the Nigerian immunization schedule. So we realize a lot of people have questions about why they are not getting their children vaccinated, and it has like helped to increase the uptake of vaccination in Nigeria. Also have Mama Bot, which is for pregnancy and maternal health care, where pregnant mothers can come and log in whatever thing they are going through in the pregnancy, be it the lifestyle, the health, their health care, the whatever thing they want in the pregnancy. They can come to log in complaints or questions. So and they get and it provides a 24/7 round the clock access. So and this replaces having people behind the keyboard because they can't work 24/7, right? So we also have AI models which are open source, like for maternal health care and also for vaccination. They are open source. We use it for people who want to do research in this. They can use our models, and people that will also want to build products around this, they can host these models. We're also going to be using our APIs for our AI products very soon. Amongst many other things we do, we work with antenatal co-pilots also, and we do a lot of physical activities. We work with PhCs throughout many states in Nigeria, right? Um, you know, we, I mean, let me just drop our helpmum.org is the, I don't know, probably you can help drop it.
Yeah,
Help,
we can do it for you, no worries. So yeah, we'll just help mom Africa, helpmom.org, right?
helpmum.org.
Okay. I'll just drop the link for everyone. Um, yeah, and they can access it from the live stream chat. So yeah, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence and your awesomeness. My goodness, I'm still
Thanks.
wishing to be like you when I grow up. Yeah, so it was an amazing chat. And we hope to probably have you back. Maybe talk about one of your research articles. And I don't know if you have worked on something else that's new, maybe you can talk about that as well.
Definitely, I'll
Yeah,
be glad to do that.
okay. It was amazing having you, and thank you.
Same here.
Um, yeah, so that's the end of our third episode with Kudus. Um, I'm wishing you a good night, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.